Welcome back, travelers. When I first heard about this new tour from Tauk, I called right away. I mean, Death Valley. How many people get to go to Death Valley? The very name conjures up images of a harsh, arid, unforgiving environment with desolation, doom, and danger. Hey, sign me up! After our eye-opening but hair-raising flight over the Grand Canyon, we're happy to continue the rest of the tour on land. So we settle in as our tour bus rumbles through the Mojave Desert for the 2-hour ride to Death Valley. Wow, there is a whole lot of nothing out here in Nevada. It's a striking landscape of desolation. Until, in the middle of nowhere stands the garish lime green Area 51 Alien Center, a combination gas station, bar, convenience store, and souvenir shop for the UFO conspiracy theorists. Too bad the tour bus wouldn't stop there. I really would have loved to buy a t-shirt. But the real Area 51, the top secret government facility at Nellis Air Force Base, is actually about 35 miles north of our location. So it turns out that we weren't really there at all. But still, you've got to wonder, what's really stored behind the barbed wire in those military warehouses we passed along the way? As we cross the state line into California and enter Death Valley, the terrain becomes even more rugged and the landscape even more barren. And the skies start to take on an ominous overcast as we arrive at our first destination, Zabriskie Point. Walking up the hill to the top of Zabriskie Point, here in Death Valley. Go ahead, Judy. It's a little windy. Actually, it's a lot windy, but we don't mind because check out the view. And if you'd like to know how this fantastic landscape was formed, here's the explanation. The rugged terrain has a powerful, stark beauty, but we couldn't stay for very long because the wind started whipping up and those dark clouds started to let loose with rain. I can't believe it. We're in one of the hottest, driest places on the planet, and it's raining. Give me a break. But as bad as it looked, it was actually just a sprinkle, and the ground barely got wet. Nonetheless, it's time to seek shelter.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Ready a room at the Hotel California. Any time of year, you can find it here.
The inn at Death Valley doesn't look exactly like the cover of the classic Eagles album, but it's reminiscent with the palm trees and the mission-style architecture. And it is a lovely place. The grounds are lush and beautiful. But I wondered, where do they get all the water to support this in the middle of the desert? Which brings us to today's episode of Science Nerds. Even in the desert, there are huge underwater rivers beneath the surface called aquifers, but they're trapped under layers of rock. But if the rocks rise to the surface, or the ground sinks low enough, the water can bubble up and form an oasis. So although the landscaping is shaped by man, the water supply is all natural. In fact, there's been a hotel at this true desert oasis since 1927. As night falls, we experience a terrifying sight. Oh no! It's an alien invasion! Call Area 51! Call Space Force! Call Will Smith! No, actually, it's a trick shot. It's the lights of the chandelier reflecting off the inside of the window in the dining hall. Credit to Judy for the great shot. But for now, let's get some rest because we've got a big day tomorrow. It's a picture-perfect morning in the desert. Blue skies, temperature 78 degrees, no humidity. Let's go live from Death Valley. Our first stop, the Artist Palette, named for the pastel colors created by variegated mineral deposits in the volcanic rocks. Scenes from the Star Wars movies were filmed here, serving as Luke Skywalker's home, the desert planet of Tatooine, and it's easy to see why. Director George Lucas recruited schoolchildren from the local elementary school to play the tiny Jawas. As one filmmaker to another, I say, nice work, George. You can walk down into the gully and retrace R2-D2's tracks. Let's go. Don't shoot, Jawas. We come in peace. Well, that was fun, but there's a lot more to see, so let's move on. Our next stop are the salt flats of Badwater Basin. Once a vast lake, eons of evaporation by the desert sun caused the dissolved minerals to precipitate out and be deposited on the desert floor 3 to 5 feet thick. And the salt is just that, plain old sodium chloride, regular table salt. Who's got the popcorn? And all that's left of the once mighty lake is this little pool of very salty water that seeps up from underground. Bad water indeed. The basin is enclosed by the walls of 2 opposing mountain ranges. Behind Judy, the Panamint Range, with 11,000-foot Mount Telescope, and behind me, the smaller Amargosa Range. And if you look carefully, you'll see a tiny sign embedded way up in the rock face. And zooming in, it says sea level. That's because we're at the lowest point in North America and the second lowest in the Western Hemisphere, 282 feet below sea level. We don't really feel any different, but now we know that after 17 years, our marriage has truly reached a new all-time low. And we're pretty proud of that. But not all the salt in Death Valley is flat. Behold, the Devil's Golf Course.
Here we are,
the Devil's Golf Course.
I can feel the arid desert sun,
Do you feel the energy, Judy?
my body drying every little bit of water out of it.
These are all salt deposits. The desolation and dryness just goes on and on and on. The crystallized salt deposits are sharp and jagged, so I had to be very careful as I knelt down to get my shot. And here it is. Don't play on the Devil's Golf Course, 'cause if you lose, the devil gets your soul. Cruising north through the park, the landscape changes as we pass by Mustard Canyon, named for its yellow walls. We then pass through a vast barren plain till we reach the Mesquite Sand Dunes. We are in the desert, so there's plenty of sand, but only in a few places do you find actual dunes. The only things that grow are these twisted mesquite trees. But I did find a desert rose, and here she is. What a babe! And the hiking boots make her look even sexier. And once again, we find ourselves on the desert planet of Tatooine. I hate sand in my shoes, so we didn't hike the dunes. But I do feel like we've paid a visit to Luke Skywalker's homeworld. Speaking of galaxies far, far away, Death Valley is an international dark sky park, which means it's a perfect place to view our galaxy, the Milky Way. I did a lot of research on this, consulting photography and astronomy websites for the ideal times to find, view, and photograph the Milky Way. And bingo! This tour date correlated with ideal conditions, with the Milky Way high in the sky and no moonlight to interfere. So with my trusty tripod in hand, I went out to the inn's observation deck at 2:30 in the morning to shoot the Milky Way. Well, it wasn't as dark as I would have hoped. There was light from the hotel and the grounds. But I wasn't about to go wandering around in the dark with coyotes, snakes, scorpions, and possible alien abduction. So I made do the best I could. And it was crystal clear. I had never seen the Milky Way before, and it was pretty awesome, stretching out across the night sky and changing position as the Earth rotated. I took several series of photos over 2 nights and spliced them together to create these panoramas. On the first night, I was all alone, but on the second, I was joined by another member of our group who was an amateur astronomer. As dawn was breaking, he pointed out the planet Venus, the morning star, rising over the mountains in the east. Worth staying up for. As the new day dawns, it's time to pack up and head home. But who would have thought that one of the hottest places on the planet would be one of the coolest places to visit? We hope you've enjoyed our Desert Oasis tour and it inspires you to find your own oasis. If you're interested in more natural wonders of the American West, check out our Yellowstone Adventure 2016. I'll post the link right here. And if you'd like to view all our worldwide travel adventures, go to our YouTube channel here at Happy Couple Travels or our website, happycoupletravels.com. See you next time.